reverberate. So, oh well. All right, let's see here. The chat room's kind of calmed down a little bit. There were some comments about numbers and revenue or whatever.
Well, you brought those up.
Yep, I did. Yeah. When will Brigham Young, Houston, Cincinnati, UCF submit their applications to the Big 12? Will we see a formal letter like Oklahoma and Texas sent to the SEC? I think those letters are being probably drawn up right now. We mentioned earlier, the University of Houston has given their chancellor the green light. Go do what you can do when it comes to some sort of conference, I guess, affiliation. So that, I would think that that's being done pretty quickly. Well, that you talk about that escalated quickly. Mm-hmm. Isn't there a Will Ferrell GIF?
That's from Anchorman.
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
Well, it did, and now, the Alliance has kind of calmed the waters on the Pac-12, and I'll tell you what, though, there's a new thing that's being debated in college athletics that's going to be the biggest problem they've ever faced. Hands down the biggest problem they've ever faced, and that's, I believe it's in a Pennsylvania court. There's a suit that's been brought by a handful of former athletes, and basically it's the push for college athletes to be considered employees. And I'm going to tell you right now that in some states they will look at what college athletes do and say, that looks like what an employee should be. Yeah, you should be considered you meet all the criteria, you should be an employee. I don't know if that'll be the case across the entire country, but I've already seen several legal people who have talked about this is going to be the biggest challenge they've ever faced, because if that were to happen and colleges have to start doing that, we were talking about realignment and everybody was kind of getting jittery over programs are going to close and blah. This would actually do all of those things that we were talking about. This would absolutely schools would just say, all right, we're done with football. And then they would subsequently be done with pretty much all their other sports as well. There would be colleges who just don't have sports for the most part if this goes all the way through.
And you may want to bring that up to Mac.
Well, and, the thing that it gets, tricky in legalese is part of the thing that the NCAA has subsisted on for so long is that they were getting an exception. There's kind of an exception because you were getting this, but then when the fair market value of what people were getting to the amount of time they were spending tilted away, or just fundamental things, name, image, and likeness. And I think that the people who are against it have never seen this. Okay, look, you're not a college athlete, and I know that scholarship and all that is expensive, but outside of that scholarship, they don't own their own name. That is fundamentally un-American to not own your own name. So that at its core is a different thing, but the courts are going to have to say that being a college athlete is different than being an employee. The problem is that, okay, if I've taken a scholarship and I'm required to be at the football facility this many hours a day, sounds an awful lot like a job at the base level, even though it is different.
What are the negatives to that, though, for the athlete?
Well, the negatives to the athlete also are, one other than what Craig said,
they're not going to have spots to play anywhere.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, idiots. And that's the thing is, I know this seems like the thing to probably do. It's athletes from, let me see here. I just had it. Handful of colleges. There's somebody from Villanova, Fordham, Sacred Heart, Cornell, and Lafayette. And I'm sure some of those, an Ivy League type of school, will be just not much will change, right? Ivy Leagues will probably just maintain, what they do. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not privately subsidized or have some giant, what do they call that, endowment, or you're screwed if this goes all the way through.
Well, the other thing is it's going to absolutely obliterate non-revenue sports.
Oh, they're gone, dude. They're gone.
Football and basketball will be there. And then the non-revenues will be gone.
Texas would still have all of its sports probably. Michigan, Ohio State. But I couldn't say for certain Baylor would keep every sport. But then Title IX comes into play. And so this lawsuit, I'm sure it's well-intended, although I'm sure a lot of it's a money grab in some ways. But I don't know that the people who are moving forward this realize, as much as there's probably good intentions, this would absolutely have a devastating effect on college athletes.
Okay, and also, you just got NIL, which you can make more money than ever being an employee at college.
Right.
So. Never enough.
You got the dam broke. The dam broke, and now, okay, we get this. We want this. Eventually, you're going to ask for something so much that you lose all of it.
Eventually, not going to be a college softball team to play on.
Let's discuss Oregon football coming up. They have Ohio State this week and much more. Sick'em, 365 Radio. Pioneer still in pipe. Pioneer boys. Pioneer still in pipe has been in business